This week on Test Drive, we take a look at the granddaddy of the sport utility market. Believe it or not, it was way back in 1984 that the Cherokee was first released. And since then, it's seen but one facelift, and that was this year. The styling of the Cherokee is, to say the very least, subtle. Indeed, you need a 96 model to fully appreciate the changes from an aesthetic perspective. You do not, however, need an old model to appreciate the hidden upgrades. The uniframe, for example, is no less than 43% stiffer. The advantage of uniframe construction is that it gives the Cherokee a stiff platform. This not only eliminates a lot of the usual body flex when off-road, it also gives the vehicle a remarkably civilized ride on-road. Beneath the sheet metal, the suspension setup continues unchanged, meaning low-pressure gas-charged shocks, roll bars at both ends, coil springs up front and leaf springs in back. Now, Chrysler offer an optional upcountry suspension package. This brings stiffer springs and high-pressure gas shocks. The combined effects work wonders controlling body roll without compromising comfort, making it a must. Another option that should not be overlooked is the skid plate package. This is particularly important if you venture off-road. The Select Track system in this Jeep is one of the simplest and yet one of the most effective because there's a setting for every situation. Under normal circumstances, you're in two-wheel drive. Come October, pull it back 2 notches. Now you're in full-time four-wheel drive, which you can set and forget until May. If you get into trouble, not a problem. Push it forward 1 notch. Now you're into part-time four-wheel drive, which locks the center differential, and that will get you out of trouble. If you go off-roading, there's even a 4-low. There are 2 engines available, a rather mundane 125 horse 4-banger and an inline 6. Obviously, the latter is the unit of choice. Power is rated at 190 horsepower and, more importantly, 225 pounds-feet of torque. As one might expect, the throttle response is quick, especially at the all-important low end of the scale, and this is in spite of the automatic gearbox. One of the complaints of old was the amount of noise, vibration and harshness associated with a 6. A stiffer block, aluminum pistons and a revised cam profile address these things reasonably well. The brake system is comprised of front discs and rear drums with an optional 4-wheel anti-lock system. During the brake tests, I required 118 feet to stop from 80k. An interesting aside is the fact that the ABS ceases to function below 5 kilometers an hour.
You ready? Yep.
In off-road situations, this is a godsend because it gives the driver a much better pedal feel. This, along with copious amounts of engine braking, makes steep descents a snap.
Kill the cameraman time. Yeehaw! Perfect control.
A part of the redesign of the Cherokee called for a lighter, more user-friendly tailgate, and that they've given this vehicle. However, what they neglected to do was move the spare tyre. It still takes up an inordinate amount of the cargo capacity, even if you fold the seats down. You know, the Cherokee still isn't the easiest vehicle in the world to get into because of the wheel arch. In redesigning the interior of this vehicle, they thought about the front passengers because they added a front airbag to the passenger's side. They forgot all about the rear passengers, however. Still no rear seat headrests, and this seat back is very low, meaning if you get rear-ended at a good clip, you can look forward to riding around in a wheelchair. Inside, you get a complete set of power options, leather seats, and a premium Infinity stereo system. In the past, the climate controls had left a lot to be desired, especially for the rear passengers. For '97, Chrysler have improved airflow by 30%. A simple upgrade on the surface, but for the back passengers, it's one well worth the effort. Now, all of this sounds rather hunky-dory until you get the price. The Cherokee has an as-tested price of $36,010. All I can say is ouch, and that I must be missing something. You know, there's a saying that says that a long journey starts with the first step. Well, Chrysler have taken the first step with the Cherokee. However, they still have a very long journey ahead of them if they're to catch the competition. That said, this thing is quite extraordinary off-road.